So I'm going to show the answers very soon. But before that, a few minutes, I'm going to speak, okay? Now you can close your activity sheet. By now you must have finished because it's already 12:10 now. I have given you 5 extra minutes, okay? Please read the heading.
What is wrong with having material desires?
Anybody can tell me? What's wrong with having material desires? Desires for gold, desires for silver, desires for women, desires for bungalow, desires for, getting some power. So give the mic to them. So many hands are up. Yeah, give. Here also, yes, yeah. Yes.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में प्रभु जी चाहे कितना भी आप मतलब प्लेजर के लिए कितना भी एफर्ट डालें, बट स्टिल कहीं ना कहीं एंड में जाके सफरिंग मिलेगी ही मिलेगी।
Okay.
स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में सर।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु
Where
जी।
is it?
Here प्रभु जी।
Yeah.
Material desires bound us to this material world.
Very good. Hari bol.
Material things are temporary and perishable.
Correct. So those three, you all know it: changeable, perishable, relative, and they show duality. Apart from that, any other reason? Yes.
They never get fulfilled. We desire more and more material desires.
The more you put petrol in fire, the more it grows. Material desires don't get appeased. If you eat 2 gulab jamuns, you want 4. If you eat 4, you want 8. It's like that, okay?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prahlad Maharaj says in Bhagavatam that material desires are like an itch which
Correct.
keeps on increasing and increasing.
Correct. That's very true. Like a itch, if you scratch, you want to scratch more and more and more. It gets wounded. It bleeds. Then causes severe pain. And if you don't itch it, then it causes the feeling.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, material desires makes our senses weak. Makes our senses weak.
Okay. Very good. Behind. This side also, yes. Where is the mic?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It increase our entanglement.
Where is it?
It increase our entanglement in material world.
Very good. Then?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Materialistic desire a cause of suffering.
Cause of suffering, yes. Krishna says, Ye hi samsparshita bhoga dukkha yone yevate. Atyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha, he says, yes?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, if they are not satisfied, then it makes us angry. And it leads to anger.
If you satisfy, it leads to greed. If it is not satisfied, it leads to anger.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Prabhu, when we have material desires, we cannot love the God. We cannot see the Krishna center.
Because when we are absorbed in material desire, we are more about ourselves. We don't think about God, okay?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Where is the mic?
Hare Krishna.
Where?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Where is it?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Sir, Prabhuji, material desire detached to Krishna.
Makes us more and more away from Krishna, okay? This side, please give the mic. They all have hands up. This side? Yeah. Send the mic this side. Let them also answer. Many nice different answers came.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Not working. Mic is not working.
Material desires are sukham tuchham.
Sukham tuchham. Very, very insignificant pleasure. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Material desires are comparable. Like if we pull up many more and stand, then I will feel how thanks God I am good enough. But when someone running fast and slow down, they feel आराम, मतलब उनको अच्छा लगता है कि मुझे आराम मिल गया. बट कुछ लोग चलने में भी असफल होते हैं, उनको लगता है कि ये हमारे लिए बहुत आरामदायक है.
Right. It gives some peace for some time. Okay, all of you said many things. I will show you in just 5 statements here. See, 5 flaws of material enjoyment in the material world. First suffering is called arjan dosh. भौतिक पदार्थों को अर्जन करने, not coming there.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, after I complete it, you can speak. देखिए, पहला अर्जन दोष क्या है? See, for accumulating material desires, we have to work very hard. That's the first one. Arjan dosh. Lot of hard work is involved. Like one boy, he was getting 4 lakh per annum. He went to a father and said, I want to marry your daughter. Father, the girl said, unless you get 10 lakh per annum, I cannot give my daughter. Now he had to go for other jobs, 16-hour jobs, so he can get 10 lakh per annum. So you have to work very hard if you have to get anything. Second thing is called Rakshan Dosh. After getting something, you have to protect it. For example, you see a boy has a great hankering to marry a beautiful girl. He got the beautiful girl with a lot of hard work and doing a big job and everything. But after that, he has fear that she is beautiful, but I am not beautiful. So she should not run away with any other man who is beautiful. Or she should not divorce me. So there is always a fear. I want to make sure I protect her. Correct, no? Rakshan dosh. Third one, Kshaya dosh. Then you keep on looking at her, gradually she also gets old. Her white hair becomes, black hair becomes white hair. And tooth also, one out, two out, all out. Goes away. And eyes go inside. Then she becomes old. That means Kshaya dosh. You don't like to see her getting old, but she gets old and body is destroyed. So, and then fourth is Bhoga dosh. Bhog se rog hota hai. So therefore, the more we enjoy life, you eat chocolates, your teeth are spoiled, isn't it? Similarly, when you enjoy, then for the enjoyment, there is suffering that comes from enjoyment. Last one, himsa dosh. That means many times if you want something in this world, you have to cause trouble to others. For example, you want a job, your friend wants a job. If you got the job, then he loses the job. Correct, no? He doesn't get. Similarly, in this world, if I want something, others don't get it. That's called violence. Now, in the bracket, what I have given, Arjan involves accumulation, but for accumulation, you have to do hard work. Rakshan involves protection, but while protecting, your mind is also filled with fear. And Kshaya dosh, that object what you have protected is gradually getting destroyed, and that causes you sorrow, lamentation. And when we try to do bhoga, enjoying propensity, we have bhoga vritti, enjoying more and more, we get misery. Too much enjoyment causes misery, isn't it? And then we cause violence to others. Then others also join us in rat race competition. So these are the 5 flaws of material enjoyment. So this is it. You understood, no? That's the material world is like this. No? See, before you get it, there is hankering to get it. And the hankering increases, a lot of hard work comes. And after getting it, there's fear of losing it. If you don't lose it, you are proud of possessing it. You are proud that I possess it. I am great. Or if you lose it, then you lament. And while possessing it, you try to enjoy it. And then by enjoying, you get misery. All those things. Like Suruchi and Uttanapad. She was a very beautiful queen. Suruchi. Suniti was not very beautiful. She was a Gunavati. So because Uttanapad wanted to enjoy Suruchi, he became controlled by her. Correct, no? If a man wants to enjoy his wife, he becomes submissive to his wife. Correct, no? He becomes completely like a dog wagging the tail. He is completely subdued by the wife. So he became controlled like that. You see? In this way, these are sufferings in this world. Okay. Now, let us come back to this one. What's wrong with material desires? Read that.
Bhakti, Mukti, Siddhi, restlessness. Generally, there are 3 classes of living entities afflicted with selfish desire. These are Bhukti Kami, Mukti Kami, and Siddhi Kami. Bhukti Kami refer to those ordinary person who desire money and everything money can buy. Such a primitive mentality is based on the desire to enjoy money, sex, and social prestige.
Okay, I'll tell you a little story. You all have to find out who is who. See, there was one very, very rich father with crores of rupees of estate. And he had 5 sons. And each of the son had a very unique characteristic. So you attentively listen to each of the son, and then I'll ask you a question. The 5th son would take the father's money and go in the market and then spend it all. He would just eat, drink, and be merry. He would never care about father. He would never come in front of father. But when his father is absent, he would take money from the home and just enjoy life, smoke, drink, and everything. And the fourth son was like a good son. He would come to the father, Papa, yeah, naya model mobile aaya hai. He will say, can I get that mobile? Father will give him mobile. 6 months he won't show up. After that he will say, Papa, one new bike has come. Can I get the bike? If you want something, he will come, otherwise he won't come. But he was very respectful to father. And the third son, he wanted to go with the father to the factories. And he asked the father, how much bank balance you have or how many factories you have? Can you also write off some factories in my name? I also can have some bank balance in my name. Father would say, Beta, you have to grow up a little bit. When you become mature, I'll give you. But he would always push the father, please give me for me to own something. And the second son was a very dangerous son. He would never come in front of the father. But he was envious of the father. He wanted to पिताजी को उड़ा देने का और उसके साथ में खुद बैठ जाने का. That was his plan. He wanted to usurp the father's position. He thought, father has so much wealth, property. ये तो बुढ़ा हो गया, मैं सब संभालूंगा. He thought like that. Second son. And the first son was a very simple son, faithful son, loyal son. He never demanded anything from the father. He would come, whatever father told him, bring 50 lakhs from the bank. He would bring 50 lakhs and give it to father. He will not touch a single penny. And he never asked also anything for himself. Completely selfless fellow. So, one day the father called the first son and said, Beta, you are such a mature boy. You are sleeping in a chatai in one corner, eating little food. How is it that you don't ask for anything? And the son would say that, Papa, whatever I need, you are giving already. What do I need? I am already grateful to you. So now you have to tell me who is the father and who are these 5 sons, okay? In this story, who can tell me who is the father? Krishna is the father, okay? And then the 5th son is who? Yeah, he's a Bhukti Kami. He is an atheist and materialist. He doesn't care about the father, okay? And the 4th one? Yeah? Astic. Correct, he's Astic. It's called pious materialist. See, the 5th fellow is a materialist. 4th fellow is pious materialist. What is the difference between these 2 fellows? 5th fellow wants to enjoy things but doesn't care about God. And eventually, he prepares his way to hell, correct, no? And the 4th fellow recognizes God. And he thanks God also. But he is materialist, pious materialist. And 3rd one? Yeah? Yeah, he's saying Siddhikami is saying. 3rd one is who? Yogi. Yogis actually want to get some powers, no? Like God is controlling, I also want to control. Like Vishwamitra created a planet. God creates billion planets, at least I want to create one. You want to imitate God. I want to walk on water, fly on sky, kuch to chamatkar dikhana. He has a desire like that. Siddhikami. Okay, second one, who can say? Mayavadi, exactly. Dangerous fellows. They want to usurp God's position. And the first fellow? The one. Exactly. So that is what is said here.
When a living being becomes frustrated with this hallucination, he takes to the path of speculative philosophy and analytically tries to track down the source of illusion. Such a person is called Muktikami because he desires to negate material illusion and merge into an impersonal spiritual state free from anxiety. The Muktikami is also motivated by personal desire, although the desire is somewhat more elevated.
Yeah. Look at this fellow. How many books he has read, you see? These people read a lot of books, Upanishads, Vedas, Vedanta, everything they read. They want to figure out God themselves. They don't want to depend on God to find out. They say that, let me study the Upanishads and what is this Anirvachaniya, Nirvikara, Achintya. Let me find out myself. So that is the Jnani. Like Jnani is this you tell Jnani is that you want to see the nose, this is the nose. They will say, no, I'll find out. Is this the nose? No, it's not the nose. Neti. Is this the nose? No, it's not the nose. It's Shika. Is this the nose? No, this is also ear. Like that, Bahu Nam Janmanamat. Then they will say, now I found out this is the nose. Like that they'll find after many, many lifetimes. Bhakta means Guru tells you, you want to see the nose? This is the nose. They accept it. That's all. If you come in Guru Parampara. So that is the Mukti Kami. All these paths like Jain people or Nirvisheshwadi, impersonalist people, Buddhist people, they all come in this. Buddhists want to attain Nirvana, Vipassana also. They want to attain Nirvana, or Jain people want to go beyond the, that Kala Chakra, or what do you call it, wheel of samsara. They want to go beyond that. Very, very torturous life. They try to get rid of all the sense gratification in this world by very, very torture. How many of you know Jains, they don't they don't shave the hair, you know that? They plug the hair. You seen that? Yeah, very horrible it is. Similarly, they walk barefoot, they walk, they do many things like that. And impersonalists also go to Himalayas and do meditation and things like that. They did? It's working?
Similarly, the Siddhikami or the mystic yogi who desired the spectacular powers of mystic yoga, such as making oneself smaller than the smallest or lighter than the lightest, is also infected by material or selfish desire. Therefore, it is said, Sakali Ashanta.
Yeah. See, this yogi is levitating above the ground, levitating, walking on water. So they want to show off these powers to the world. So that is material desire. And Muktikamis want to go to Brahma Jyoti and merge and relax there. They don't want to do any seva. And Bhuktikami wants to enjoy, costly cars, enjoy the company of. He's showing the money to woman and is telling her, see, if you marry me, I can give you so much money. And she is making an artificial show of love, see. Correct, na? Yeah. Because her love is for the money, but she is saying that I love you. Why? Because you have money in your pocket. So this kind of thing. See? Yeah. So these three are covered in this verse. Please repeat this. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Atayeva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kame Sakali Ashanta. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Rupa Goswami. Read it, translation.
Because the devotee of Lord Krishna is desireless, he is peaceful. Fruitive workers desire material enjoyment.
Fruitive
workers desire material enjoyment. Jnanis desire liberation, and yogis desire material opulence.
See, karmis want to enjoy here in this world. Jnanis want to enjoy there. And Krishna Bhaktas don't want to enjoy anywhere. They only want to. That's the point. Yeah. Read that, yeah. Battery is over. Give another mic. Yeah.
If one has personal desire, whether it be material, philosophical, or mystic, he will be ashanta or ultimately frustrated because he will see himself as the central object of satisfaction. This egocentric concept is in itself.
Are you able to understand this point? For example, a karmi says, I want to enjoy. What is the reference point? Himself. Jnani says, I want to be free from suffering of the material world so that I can go to Brahma Jyoti, Shanti, 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 I can relax. That means what is the reference point? I. Yogi says, I want mystic powers. What is the reference point? I. But Krishna Bhakta, you ask him, he's asking, where is Krishna? Who is his mother? Who is his father? Which are the animals which are dear to him? Which is the mountain dear to him? Which is the river very dear to him? What prasadam he likes that I can offer him? What is the reference point? It's not clear, I think, for many. I don't hear many people saying. I think they didn't understand, I think. I don't think you understood it. See, again, I'll tell you. When you say that, I want to enjoy the material world, what is the reference point? I want to get rid of sufferings of the material world, but old age, this is death. What is that? I want 8 siddhis so that I can show off to people. But if you ask, who is Krishna's mother? Tell me the name. Who is Krishna's father? Who is Krishna's most dear, purest devotee? Which are the animals dear to Krishna? Which is the mountain dear to Krishna? Which is the river dear to Krishna? Which is the forest dear to Krishna? Kadamba forest, isn't it? And in this, if we talk this kind of things, what is the reference point? That is the point. So, see, if your reference point is Krishna, you are going to go there. If your reference point is I, they're going to come back. You understand, no? So these three are in one platform and bhakti is in this platform. Different. See here, a bhogi wants to enjoy, huh? And a tyagi wants to give up. Huh? But a bhakta doesn't want to enjoy or give up. He wants to take everything and use in Krishna's service. See, when I first went to ISKCON temple in Juhu, way back in 91, I was very shocked by one sight because I was reading many spiritual books in those days. I had a notion that sadhu means you should be renounced. Huh? You should not touch any opulences. But there I saw glass rooms where I found some sadhus like this dress, saffron dress, they were sitting in computer. It was a shock for me first time. I asked the senior devotee, Prabhuji, I have seen computers, I have seen sadhus, but never together. They are sitting with computers. How is it they are enjoying computers? So that senior devotee told me, see, these sadhus are not playing video games. They are not doing any nonsense with the computer. They only use computer for Krishna service. And then he told me, anything you use for Krishna service, and that is called Yukta Vairagya. What Vairagya? Yukta means engaged in Krishna service. That day, first time I learned that everything can be used in Krishna service. Prior to that, my idea was to renounce the world. So now what does the bhogi do? He enjoys. Let me tell you a little story. You will understand this example. Once, probably you must have heard if you did MMC on this, I spoke this. Once a king was going in a chariot with 1,000 people. He threw his ring. You know that? He threw his ring in the crowd. But the ring had king's initial, Raja R was there. When he threw it, do you know what happened? One fellow picked it up. And he thought, such a heavy, solid gold, it must be 20, 30 lakhs. So he took it and ran. King told the minister, capture him and put him behind the bars. They put him behind the bars and they got the ring back to the king. And the king wanted to test the character of his people. Then he threw the ring on the other side. And there, somebody else picked it up and they said, oh, such a costly gold ring. And it doesn't belong to me. They dropped it on the ground. As if it is like a hot coal or something. And the king laughed and said, foolish fellow, he just dropped it in the ground, such a valuable thing. You bring it back. He told the minister. So the minister got it back. Then he threw it in another direction. Third fellow, somebody picked it up and then he saw the initial of the king. R was written. Then he pushed through the crowd, came to the king and gave it to the king and said, oh, my dear king, it seems your gold ring has fallen down. And the king, while taking the gold ring, he pulled that fellow into the chariot and said, because you are a man of truthfulness and honesty, I am going to make you one of my ministers now. So he accepted him. So in this story, three types of people I told you. First fellow is who? Is a bhogi. Second fellow? Third fellow? Why bhakta? Because he doesn't enjoy anybody's property. He takes and uses it in. So he takes Krishna's things and so it's called as bhogi means is attached. Tyagi means is detached. Bhakta means is non-attached. You know what is non-attached? You take a chumbak, you take a magnet, you give the iron filings, immediately it will catch. You have seen that? That is bhogi. You want to immediately enjoy. Correct, no? People in this world are attracted to objects they want to enjoy. Tyagi means like two magnets you bring same poles. They reject like this. You have seen that? Tyagi repels the material world. He goes to forest, you see. Himalayas, he goes. That is Tyagi. But a bhakta means taking a magnet and keeping on a wooden table, which means wood and magnet, no effect. Bhakta lives in the midst of the world and uses everything in Krishna's service without enjoying them or without renouncing them. Don't enjoy, don't hate, but use everything in Lord's service. Is that clear? So, one time I was going in a train to IIT Kharagpur. One fellow asked me, Swamiji, don't you know Jains walk always? You have not seen that? He asked me. I said, yes, I have seen. I said, you are a sadhu. How can you travel in a train? You should walk, he told me. I said, hey, from Pune to Kharagpur, if I walk, 3 to 4 months will go. And then I am going to give a 3-day program. And after 3 days, again I walk back to Pune, another 4 months. So 1 year is over for just 3-day program. So I asked him, what do you think I should do? He thought for a few moments and said, I think you should walk only, he said. I said, maybe you walk, but I will not walk. I will go by train, I told him. So this is, Jain people have very rigid type of practice. We will always only walk or they have many rules like that, as I told you. Fasting. 270 days in a lifetime they have to fast, I heard. Alternate days they fast. 270 days. One day they take not even water also. Another day they take fruits. Third day they take no water also. Fourth day they take fruits. 270 days they do at a stretch like that. Very too much austerity. But what is the purpose of the austerity? Do you know that? To go from the negative axis to 0, 0. What you all did activity. Because negative axis is material world. 0, 0 is the Brahma Jyoti or Nirvana. And the positive axis spiritual world. Correct, no? Buddhists are also trying to go from negative axis to 0, 0, Nirvana. And they want to realize this material body is horrible. This material world is horrible. So Jains, Buddhists, and Mayavadis, all of them same category. But going from negative material world to the 0, 0 is negating the negative. But there is nothing like positive. Correct or not? Isn't it? So therefore you must have seen these 3 monkeys. Buramat Deko, Buramat Suno, Buramat Goro. That is also like this only. It doesn't tell you what you should see, what you should hear. We say, look at the deity's palm of Krishna. Hear the Katha of Krishna, Kirtana of Krishna, eat prasad, chant the holy name. So all the 3 senses have use, but they say, shut your senses, that's all. All these 3 people, that's what they teach. Yeah. So therefore, this is a very... See, in the negative axis, we are all suffering in this world. But when you do some practice like jnanis, yogis, then you may go up a little bit. You may come up to peace 0, 0. Look at the mouth of that peace fella. Flat it is. There's no happiness. He is only experiencing peace. That's all. Right now we are in material world. We are suffering negative axis. Let us give an example, which will make it more clear. Say, a husband and wife, they got into a quarrel, for example. They are in which axis? Negative axis. 1 week they are quarreling, they got fed up with each other. Finally, they decide that you stay in that room, I'll stay in this room, we don't talk to each other. So will they get peace or not? What do you think? Yeah, they get peace. Because there is no quarrel. Wife cooks in a tiffin box, she gives it, keeps a dabba and says, food here, eat it. She does. And husband brings salary pack, keeps it on wife's table and says, salary pack here, keep it in the bureau. It leaves a chit. Like this life goes on for a month. So they will be peaceful. Will they be happy? No. Something is missing in their life. No sweet relationship. Then what they do? They come together and decide that better let us put aside our false ego. Just cooperatively live. Then they come to positive axis. You see, there is happiness. So this is called as misery, peace, love. Therefore, love is superior to peace. But most religions don't know about the platform of love. Prabhupada writes, love is the last word in transcendence. Please repeat this. Love is the last word in transcendence. But most people think peace is the last word. They don't know anything beyond the peace. In peace, that means peace is a varietyless world. You go to Brahma Jyoti, there is no variety. There is no activity. So Prabhupada gives a nice example. Any of you here had a viral fever? Any of you had a viral fever? No, not now. You had before. Any of you? Good number, I think. Okay, you will understand this example. See, viral fever goes on for how many days? 3 days or 4 days? 3, 4 days. So take antibiotics. After 3, 4 days, you will see that fever is gone. But somehow your body is like very weak. You've seen that? Like that you feel, it's called convalescent period. Convalescent means you are very tired. You can't get up from the bed. And then another 2, 3 days goes in that. And then you get strength. Then you can run, jog, do activity, you can eat a big plate of food and everything. So now compare this three stages. In the negative axis, you have viral fever. In peace, it's a convalescence period. That means 3 days are over. And the positive axis, you are fully healthy. So when you are in the negative axis, fever, were you active or were you not active? No, you are active, but your activities were all pain producing. Like that coughing. Or sometimes tongue is bitter. If you walk, you feel like sitting. If you sit, you feel like lying. If you lie, you want to sit. You are also vomiting. Correct, no? Activities are there, but they are not at all pleasant. Neither pleasing to you, nor pleasing to others also. Is anybody going to like you vomiting? Nobody likes. So that is negative axis. Activities are all painful. And what is 0, 0? Peace. Peace means your fever is over, antibiotics course is over, 3, 4 days are over now. Now you are peaceful, but still you are in the bed like a balloon without air, completely without any strength. And then in positive axis, you become healthy now. Then you're eating a full plate of prasad. Big plate you can eat. So in negative axis, in your fever, can you eat a full plate? In peace, can you eat a full plate? No. Only when you are in positive axis, you can eat a full plate. Correct, no? So this example Prabhupada gives. So most religions teach you how to become free from fever, but they don't tell you how to act in a healthy way. You understand, no? But in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says, it's not enough. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. Jnani say that. It's like saying, I am engineer. I am engineer. Okay, you're engineer. Now you do the job of engineer. Imagine you go to Infosys and say, I am engineer. They will say, okay, we agree you're engineer. Do some work, they will say. So you have to, that means acting as engineer means that's Bhakti Yoga. Like, acting as a devotee. Acting on Brahman platform. But simply saying Aham Brahmasmi means jnani. Just sitting in Brahma Jyoti, Aham Brahmasmi, and I will relax in the easy chair, that's all. No service. So we want to go from 0, 0 to positive axis. One last point, going from negative axis to 0, 0 is not a very easy thing. Jnanis and Buddhists, Jains, they all struggle a lot because creating a vacuum in a bulb is far more difficult than removing the oxygen by putting some inert gases, like argons and on krypton. If you put some inert gas, it will go inside and just pushes out oxygen. But if you don't put inert gas, only to remove oxygen is not very easy. I have done it myself in my laboratory work. I have done that. When you create vacuum, more and more you suck out the oxygen. It may even blast also, glass. Similarly, removing material desire from the heart is the most difficult thing. Say, for example, I tell you one thing. I tell you, tomorrow morning when you get up, don't think of a red monkey, I tell you. Then as soon as you get up in the morning, what will happen? As soon as you get up, red monkey will come in your mind. Prabhuji told me not to remember red monkey, isn't it? So, it's very difficult to empty the mind. Very difficult. But there is one easy way to remove the things from the mind. I'll show you. One Stanford University research shows that.
Self-management. A set of skills that are critical to kids' success in school and beyond. Self-management has several names and many concepts associated with it. We're also going to talk about it in terms of marshmallows, stop signs, squeezy balls, and teaching. Let's start with the marshmallows. In the late 1960s, a Stanford professor named Walter Mischel wanted to gauge young children's ability to delay gratification, so he conducted a groundbreaking self-management experiment. He and his researchers took preschool kids and sat them in a room in front of a marshmallow or other treat. The researcher would say, I'm going to leave for 15 minutes. If you would like to eat the marshmallow, then eat it. If you can wait until I come back, I'll give you a second one and you can eat them both. That's it. That was the whole experiment.
That's it, no? That means if the children would wait for 15 minutes, they will get 2 marshmallows. If they consume it before 15 minutes, they got only 1. So then there are 2 type of children. grabbers and resistors. So the grabbers, what they will do? They'll finish it. Resistors, they'll wait, and then they will come back and give them one more.
Michelle found that despite their best efforts, 2/3 of the kids ate the marshmallow before the researcher came back. In the years since then, the experiment has been copied many times with kids from different communities, ethnicities, and backgrounds in a range of countries all over the world. Typically, 2/3 of the kids eat the marshmallow. Here's where the results of Michelle's experiment get really interesting. After running the experiment a bunch of times in California, his team tracked down all the marshmallow test kits they could find 10 years later, and 20 years, and 30, and 40, and they found some startling results. The kids who were able to wait for the second treat scored better on the SATs, once you control for IQ, were rated as more academically and socially competent by their parents, and had a greater ability to plan, handle stress, and concentrate without becoming distracted, even decades later.
You understood, no? That means out of the two grabbers and resistors, the resisting children, those who could wait for 15 minutes, they were scoring better on SATs because they were disciplined. Huh? And they are academically and socially competent, because the academically competent fellows many times are focused fellows. Huh? They take one thing at a time and they do very well. They plan, handle stress. So that's the research shows that.
There has been a bunch of research that builds on or extends these findings. One larger, more comprehensive study followed 1,000 children born in the early 70s in Dunedin, New Zealand. Focusing on self-management, researchers interviewed the children as they grew from 4 to 11. They also gave questionnaires to parents, teachers, and peers. Then they tracked down the original kids when they were in their 30s. They found that the children's ratings on self-management between the ages of 4 and 11 correlated with whether or not they were high school or college graduates, addicted to alcohol or drugs, economically stable or living paycheck to paycheck, involved in criminal activity. All these results lead to one big question. What does this mean for the kids who ate the first marshmallow? For that matter, what does it mean for the kids who don't have self-management between the ages of 4 and 11? Does this mean if the child hasn't developed the right self-management skills early, her whole life path is much worse? Here's what Walter Mischel says about this exact issue.
We're talking about correlations that are significant. We're not talking about a destiny for an individual. So I want to be very clear that a branding would be completely missing the point, particularly since the most exciting findings about the marshmallow experiments are the ease with which it is possible to change an individual's ability to delay gratification.
And there are ways to do that.
There are very straightforward ways to do it that connect with how the brain works. The interpretation to be taken from the findings is that this is an enormously important skill. It has predictive qualities. It has protective effects, but it is teachable. It is changeable.
In fact, Michel showed that self-management could be taught in an experiment similar to the marshmallow test. In this version, researchers gave the kids helpful ideas before the test. They said, imagine the marshmallow is actually a flat picture, or a cloud, or there is a bug crawling on it. Suddenly, the kids could wait far longer. So there are strategies and techniques you can give kids to help them nurture and grow their self-management muscles, many of which can help students in longer-lasting, more profound ways. These strategies extend beyond envisioning a situation differently. They involve teaching kids to avoid certain situations.
Just imagine that this, marshmallow in front of me is just a cloud, or it is just a picture, or there's an ant on it. That's envisioning. And avoid means don't look at it, look somewhere else.
Modify their surroundings.
Surrounding means instead of sitting near it, go for a shower and come. or go to the garden, pluck some flowers and then come. Modify your surroundings.
To reduce distractions, manage their emotions constructively, shift.
Managing an emotion constructively means, that means don't just keep on looking at it and resisting yourself. Instead, constructively manage your emotions by uplifting your emotion to some other productive thing. Like, for example, do some painting, or do some drawing, or sing a song, pluck some flowers, bow down to Lord, worship, or or read some Bhagavad Gita, 1 or 2 pages. That means modify your
Their attention, organize to complete tasks, and plan how to overcome obstacles that may arise.
That means you can plan in advance. I am going to wait for 15 minutes, I am going to get 2 pieces. You plan in advance. I am not going to succumb to this in advance, and act as per the plan. So all these different
Still,
things you can
despite growing research on the topic, we're in the early days of learning the best ways to help students build self-management skills. The techniques that work, or even just what to focus on, can vary from student to student in a single class. But one thing we do know is this. Teachers in the classroom and parents at home tend
very important. You can be very attentive now.
to notice self-management issues the most when something goes wrong. A student who loses track of his assignments and comes to class unprepared. A student who constantly interrupts peers and teachers. A student who fidgets constantly and can't focus in the classroom. This could be any kid, at any age, at any ability level. What adults normally do is see this behavior and tell the student to stop. Stop messing around, you have to do your homework. Stop fidgeting. Or like in Michelle's experiment, don't eat the marshmallow. Now, when you do that, you're basically telling the child you have to stop, and you have to figure out how to do it. You've just put it all on the child, and the problem is, maybe the child doesn't know how. For whatever
No? When you tell a child, stop, don't eat the marshmallow, don't make noise in the class, don't fidget with the mobile or something. So children don't know how I can stop it. It's difficult for them, he says.
reason they never learn this particular self-management skill. Saying stop doesn't fix that. So what if rather than saying stop, you say, instead of what you're doing now, which isn't working too well, why don't you do this? For that kid who is fidgeting all the time, what if you give him a squeezy ball and say, squeeze this ball as much as you want because you need to do something with your hands and that will make it easier for you to pay attention in class. Instead of just saying stop or no, you're saying, here's a strategy to try. One of the findings of the original marshmallow test is that it's primarily a test of whether a child has learned particular self-management strategies. Kids who stare at the marshmallow and simply try their hardest not to eat it, well, they pretty much always eat it. The kids who have a strategy to shift their attention by singing a song, walking around, putting their forehead on the table, covering their eyes, or any number of things are best able to wait for the second marshmallow. As we now know, shifting attention is one of a broad range of self-management strategies. What works and what to focus on can vary from child to child. But the self-management strategies as a whole are teachable, and like muscles, they can be strengthened in all students.
The solution he gave, anybody noticed? Yeah? Shift your attention to something constructive. Okay, now you all tell me, now Vishwamitra was allured by Menaka because he was an impersonalist at that time. Simply saying, Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit soul, I am spirit soul. It was difficult for him to meditate on a void, correct, no? On something impersonal. So, now if such a person is bored with meditating on something void, so in Krishna consciousness movement, what alternatives are we offering? Where you are shifting your attention to something more positive. Anybody? Can give example? Yes? Serving? Chanting Hare Krishna, correct? Then? Yeah? Deity worship. Deity worship. Sankirtan, going out on Harinam Sankirtan. Yeah? Reading Prabhupada books. Prasadam, taking prasad, okay? Doing seva. Yeah? Book distribution. Yeah? He's saying association of devotees. He's saying classes, hearing classes. Seeing videos, he's saying. Yeah. Hearing passions of Krishna and Jagannath ritual. What fest? What fest? Ekadashi. Ekadashi feast, he's saying. Anyway, the point is, in Krishna consciousness, we have hundreds of engagement, you will see. Alternate engagement. For example, right from the time you get up in the morning, you are going in front of the deity, chanting, dancing, taking prasad, wearing dhoti kurta, putting tilak, reading books, singing songs, attending classes, asking questions, going out on book distribution, Rathayatras, celebrating festival. Our Prabhupada himself, right from day one, he gave a lot of engagements. Yadurani Mataji was an artist. Prabhupada said, draw paintings of Krishna, he said. Haigrave Prabhu was an editor. He said, edit my books, he said. Jayanand Prabhu, build my chariots, he said. Tamaksha Maharaj, buy some Greyhound buses and go all over America to distribute books, he said. Rai Ram Prabhu, Prabhupada said, print and publish books in as many languages as possible, he said. And Surabhi Prabhu, he said, make architectural plan for Vrindavan and Juhu temple. He spent a lot of time in that. You name a disciple and Prabhupada gave him service. Huh? That is a shifting attention. Then you go to positive axis. Huh? You are not artificially suppressing. Huh? Now you will understand the activity. Let's go to activity now. Huh? I'm going to show the answer now. See the answer, check it. See, for Buddhist, that you can read that.
Buddhist, dismantling material body and attaining nirvana, smell dead corpse to develop detachment from material body.
They do this kind of things. How many of you seen Shaolin movies? Shaolin, you have seen? Very few. Here also. Okay. In my school days, I must have seen at least 8 to 10 movies on Shaolin, like Shaolin Temple, 36 Chamber of Shaolin, and Mad Monkey Kung Fu. Huh? These kind of movies. So, in those movies, I would see the Chinese monks. Huh? That was one of my inspiration in becoming brahmachari also, after seeing them. These monks are like very disciplined fellows. In Mad Monkey Kung Fu, you will see, he's carrying 2 buckets of water. And his guru told him, keep one knife here, one knife here. Huh? So that if you bring it down, knife will hurt you. So he has to practice strict discipline. So Buddhist disciplines are like that. Huh? So he will not allow him to sleep on a comfortable bed. He has to sleep on 2 ropes. Like that. Buddhists do a lot of such gymnastics to, give up the enjoying mentality. Our method is very simple. Don't enjoy anything. Give it to Krishna, and then when Krishna sanctions you, you accept it. Okay. Second one, impersonalist.
Impersonalists, attaining Shanti, negate the material world, Brahmam Satyam Jagat Mithya.
Correct. Vaishnavas.
Vaishnavas, eternal service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, use all material paraphernalia in service to God.
Correct. Karmakandis.
Karmakandis, attaining heaven through regulated Vedic ceremonies, rituals are more important than the spirit.
Yes.
Ashtang yogis, attaining Siddha Loka to gain mystic powers.
How many of you got all the answers right? Oh, there are only 10, 20 people. What happened to others? Where you went wrong? First one, Buddhist. You may not be aware, I think, correct, no? The smelling of the dead corpse and correct. That's the way they do Buddhists. Okay. Second answer I'm going to show you. Check it. Yeah. Very good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Very good. Many of you got right answers, huh? Actually, 2-3 answers some of you must have got wrong. Correct, no? Some are... Because you cannot use 2 words for the same time you cannot use. Only once you have to use. No? See, one devotee is asking, if love and service is the ultimate goal of bhaktas, how do we serve Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Chanting seems more on Siddhi side than on Bhakti side. Because we think of the transcendental pleasure we get by chanting. No, you are not supposed to think what pleasure I am getting by chanting. Chanting means begging for seva. Oh Radha, oh Krishna, I am your eternal servant. Somehow I have fallen into this material world. Please purify me. Please elevate me. Please accept me as your servant. Engage me in your service. That's the meaning of Mahamantra chant. Huh? That's the mood in which we should chant. In Vrindavan, one Maharaj is there, named Sri Premananda Maharaj. He comes under Radha Vallabh Sampradaya. As per Google, one guru in Parampara, an avatar of flute of Krishna. They chant Radha Nam and glorify Harinam and all, and talk of Shastras. Can you please tell me about authenticity of Guru? How to check? See, I heard his Nimbarka Sampradaya, I heard. Here it's written Radha Vallabh Sampradaya. Nimbarka Sampradaya, it may be authorized. I can find out a little bit more, I can search and find out. So, in their Sampradaya, if Radha Nam is given, is chanting, that is perfect for them. For us, our Hare Krishna Mahamantra is given to us from the Kali Santaran Upanishad. And that Upanishad says, if you chant Hare Krishna, you will get Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I mean, she's asking, sometimes we observe people like big celebrities who break all regulative principles, enjoy great material opulences, and are never out of Lakshmi. But many of devotees who are always doing good karma sometimes suffer financial crisis. Why? See, they are reaping the fruits of their purva janma arjita punyam agre davati davati. Shastra say, as long as the punya remains, they enjoy. When the punya is over, they will just fall like a shooting star. After that, they cannot enjoy. Although they may appear to be enjoying for some time. And devotees are doing right things now, and their future is very bright. Correct, no? So, some people ask, sinners are enjoying. So then what do you mean by that? So if you want to sin, you also sin then. By sinning, nobody can enjoy. Sin leads to suffering. But if a sinful person is reaping fruits from Purva Janma, like for example, last month a man worked and earned something like 2 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees. That money is enjoying now. He's running out now. Once that money is over, for the current blunders he is doing, he will suffer later. ISKCON क्लेम करता है कि वह सभी परंपराओं को सम्मान करता है, परंतु जब हम लेक्चर सुनते हैं तो कई बार आता है वे अपने संस्था के अलावा सबको फेक बताते हैं, यहाँ तक कि वे 4 बोनाफिड परंपराओं की भी अथॉरिटी मानते हैं. Actually, you cannot show me one lecture where I have criticized anybody coming in 4 sampradayas. I have spoken in 3,000 lectures, you can see. If I have criticized, you come and ask me. अगर कोई और क्रिटिसाइज करता तो उनको पूछिए आप, ठीक है ना, हमको मत पूछना, ठीक है. I will only say that unauthorized fellows are wrong, and I will not quote names also. मैं किसी का नाम भी कोट नहीं करूंगा लेक्चर में, सिर्फ हम उनके फिलॉसफी को डिफीट करेंगे हम, बस. Yesterday I told some examples also. We should surrender to whom? Krishna or Guru? How to following surrender to them? Okay, what is the procedure to surrender to them is asking. All of you repeat this verse. Yasya deve para bhaktir yada deve tata gurau tasyaite katita hi artha prakashante mahatmanah. One has to surrender to both Guru and Krishna. It's like a railway line. You need Guru also, you need Krishna also. If you catch hold of only Guru, you are Mayavadi. If you catch hold of only Krishna, you are a Sahajya, you call. So, Guru and Krishna means Vaishnava. Both you have to accept. Accept Prabhupada, accept Krishna, both. If you are not following surrender because you are not good devotee, but we are under the guidance of our Guru and seniors, so Krishna will help us in difficult situation even if you are not following or surrendered. Why should you not follow? That's my question. Why follow? क्यों नहीं करते आप? They are telling you to chant 16 rounds, follow 4 weeks, follow it. He is asking, even if you don't follow, will Krishna help? What do you expect like this? You try your best to follow. At least we should struggle to follow, at least. Make an effort. Ritvik says that they are on the right path as they are following Guru's instruction, whereas ISKCON claim they are following Shastra. If Guru Prabhupada got spiritual enlightenment, then how he can give any wrong instruction? Last will letter says about Ritvik. See that how can Guru give some wrong instruction in his last will, as he should know that he is going back? Also, why Prabhupada didn't complete it all canto of Bhagavatam and departed afterwards. Okay. See, the July letter which Prabhupada gave says that 11 people are gurus now, and you can add more people to the list. Prabhupada says that. इस list में और add कर सकते हैं. As and when you find qualified people, you add, Prabhupada says. Plus, I have lot of evidences in my computer about how Ritvikism is wrong. I can give you at least, there are 10, 20 files I have. If anybody is interested, I will leave it with whom? Yeah. You can ask Prabhuji, I will give one folder to him. Anything about Ritvik, you ask him, he can explain. And also, Like Prabhupada, actually, many of you may not be aware, Prabhupada told the disciples to give initiation in his presence also and told them, as long as I am in the planet, they are my disciples. And after I die, they will become your disciples. That means if you initiate, they will become your disciples. Recently, there is one devotee called Ishwar Gauranga Prabhu, I think, Yoga of Love YouTube channel. There he has spoken why he left Ritvik. He has written one video, 2 videos he has made. Go through that. That is enough for you. You don't have to go through all these 10 things. Yeah, why I left Ritvik and came to ISKCON, you read that, hear that. So, Shankaracharya, impersonalist or not, he is a covered personalist. Shankaracharya अंदर ही अंदर भक्त है भगवान के. I will show you one video.
Life of Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya. His mother, old Aryambha, she became bedridden. So then, awaiting death, she remembered the son. The son gave the benediction that whenever she remembers, he will be there. So he mystically, Shankaracharya appeared mystically. And then he wanted to help her get liberation. So it is said that he composed a great stotra called Vishnu Bhujanga Stotra. He was reciting standing next to her. Nake Chandrabhasam Kare Charu Chakram Suresadhi Vandhyam Bhujange Shayanam Bhaje Padmanabham Hare Hari Ananya Daivam Namanye Namanye. So he says, I salute the Supreme Lord, from whose navel sprouts a lotus, Padmanabha, who has a sweet smile on his face and shine of moon on his nails, who holds pretty chakra in his hand, and who is being saluted by all the demigods, and who reclines on a serpent bed, Ananta. And again I affirm that there is no God for me except Hari. Hari Ananya Daivam Namanye Namanye. He says, I will not. It is said that by hearing this wonderful prayer, Aryambha got completely absorbed in. So in the last minute, Adi Shankaracharya, he was advising her to focus on Padmanabha.
Back to Vaikuntha, mother. So Shankara not only showed his mother Krishna Darshan, he also arranged for her going back to Vaikuntha also. So now it's getting time late for your prasadam now. Take prasad. We'll continue in the evening. Shri Prabhupada ki. Let us see. Somebody should stand there and tell us rain has stopped. Then they can go. Put one devotee there. I have faith on scriptures that Gita is fully scientific. But why all the world, all the whole, would not accept and add in academics? Who said that Gita is not added in academics? I am already teaching in many colleges inside. Bhagavad Gita as it is prescribed in NIT Warangal. 220 students are taking the course. NIT Warangal. Also in SRM, Andhra Pradesh University also. In Hyderabad alone, we have dozen colleges where we are teaching also. BITS Pilani has added, Kurukshetra University has added Bhagavad Gita. Can you tell something about Oppenheimer? He read Bhagavad Gita but made a nuclear bomb which led to a lot of destruction. No. When the nuclear bomb was exploded, Oppenheimer made the statement, Kalos Vyaham Lokat Shaitkar Prabhu. One shloka he quoted, which means God has come in the form of this bomb, he said. Of course, atom bomb was used for dynamite. Dynamite was used for exploding mountains. But later on, it was misused by man, correct, no? Just as science and religion are rightly used and misused. I seem to feel attracted to some girls, Mataji, but I don't want it to be driven by lust. What is this? And how can I protect myself? Yeah, don't watch. Take your vision away. And, as I told you, Dhyayato Ushayan Pumsaha. So by repeatedly watching them, attachment will develop. By our attachment development, you will develop lust. Third stage is lust. So before lust develops, curb it, nip it in the bud itself. Take vision away. If a non-devotee asks me whether Goloka Vrindavan truly exists, how can I prove it to them? Very easy. You can tell him what is the goal of your life. He will say, I don't know. So you say from Bhuloka to Goloka, that's the goal of life. Very simple. You have a clear-cut goal. You can tell them also, there is a divine nature, demoniac nature even in this world. Huh? The divine nature comes from spiritual world. Demoniac nature has come because we are here. Rain is stopped now. Now you all can rush now.